All right, welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories read here can be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here's the latest news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native American news sources. A Mission, South Dakota woman working as a Rosebud Sioux Tribe Courte staffer must repay $4,000 she stole from the tribe. 43-year-old Patricia Rose Thin Elk was a tribal court clerk and bondsman when she stole the money between the year 2006 and 2008. She pled guilty in federal court to embezzlement and theft from a tribal organization. Besides the restitution, Thin Elk will be on probation for 2 years and must undergo alcohol treatment. Prosecutor says she also goes by the name of Patricia Rose Jones. 2 Browning residents have pled guilty to charging thousands of dollars in gasoline purchases to stolen government credit cards. Vanessa Barr and Justin Meneke pleaded guilty Thursday in U.S. District Court in Great Falls to theft of government property and making false claims. They were ordered detained until July 27th when they'll be sentenced. Prosecutors say Barr and Meneke, both 30, stole a General Services Administrative fuel credit card from the desk of an Indian Health Service employee in November of 2007 and used it to charge nearly $6,800 in fuel for themselves, friends, and relatives. In August of 2008, the two obtained 2 more gas cards that were stolen from an IHS ambulances and racked up more than $16,000 in charges before being arrested. U.S. Interior Secretary Ken Salazar says that over the past 2 centuries, Americans' best ideas for protecting its vast and open lands have arrived when the country has been facing its most trying times. Now is no different, Salazar told a crowd of dignitaries, state and federal workers, volunteers, and conservationists who gathered last week at the New Mexico Museum of Natural History to celebrate the Public Lands Bill recently signed into law by President Obama. He was talking about the more than 2 million acres that will be protected either as wilderness, conservation areas, or national monuments, and the thousands of miles of trails and rivers that will be nationally recognized. Navajo Nation President Joe Shirley Jr. also attending the celebration. He said the tribe is on cloud 10 knowing that a decades-long dispute over the tribe's water claims is now settled and about 80,000 Navajos will finally have running water. Shirley and Salazar met privately to discuss water, education, and job training initiatives aimed at improving the quality of life on the Navajo Reservation, where more than half of the people are without jobs. Voters elected Cedric Black Eagle chairman of the Crow Tribe, choosing him over Leroy Not Afraid 2,521 to 850 votes in voting last weekend. Black Eagle became interim chairman in February following the passing of Chairman Carl Venn. He has promised to continue to work on 2 of Venn's goals, seeking congressional approval of the Crow Tribe Water Rights Settlement Act and seeing the start of construction on a coal-to-liquids plant. The plant will bring hundreds of jobs to the reservation. Not Afraid congratulated Black Eagle on his victory. The Crow Nation now needs to unite for our new chairman, Not Afraid said. He is my clan's son, and my prayers and my hopes and my dreams are with him. The Arizona Supreme Court will review a lower court's decision reviving lawsuits filed by the Havasupai tribal members who allege that university researchers misused blood samples taken from tribal members. The Court of Appeals overturned a trial judge and ruled that the Havasupai and other plaintiffs had provided enough information to proceed toward a trial. The Supreme Court on Monday turned away appeals filed by several parties in the case, but accepted one on behalf of 2 researchers. The cases stem from research conducted with blood samples taken from tribal members for diabetes research in the 1990s. Researchers also used the blood samples for research into schizophrenia, inbreeding, and ancient population migration. The American Indian Science and Engineering Society Google Scholarship will fund scholarships to American Indian, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian members of ACES pursuing degrees in the computer science and computer engineering fields. ACES and Google support the advancement of American Indian and Alaska Native students working towards obtaining a degree in the fields of computer science and technology, so they can obtain the skills necessary to compete in today's global society. You can get information on that application at www.aises.org. A dedication ceremony is planned for Saturday for the recently opened Cherokee Hills Byway in northeastern Oklahoma. The ceremony during the Red Fern Festival will feature Cherokee National Principal Chief Chad Smith and other tribal officials, along with officials from the Oklahoma Department of Transportation and nearby towns. The scenic byway is the state's 8th. The 88-mile stretch of highway runs through Sequoia, Cherokee, Adair, and Delaware counties. The new byway passes through and stops on U.S. Highways 59 and 412A and State Highways 10, 51, 62, 82, and 100. Passes through the towns of Gore, Cookson, Keys, Tahlequah, West Siloam Springs, Marble City, Oaks, and Redbird. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the University of Oklahoma Outreach will officially oversee the Cherokee Hills Byway program. The Cherokee Nation is an official sponsor of the Byway. Virginia will add a new historical marker near Richmond to commemorate a Monacan Indian town that was destroyed by colonists. April 26th ceremony will pay homage to the Bohemcho, which was destroyed in the late 17th century and most of its people killed. French immigrants later settled there and renamed the Powhatan County town Monacan. Kareen Wood is a member of the Monacan tribe and director of the Virginia Indian Heritage Program. She said the historical marker completes a historical circle encompassing the importance of the Monacan town in Virginia history. Representatives of the Monacan Indian Nation plan to be at the Sunday ceremony. Check out our featured channel index and the automatic loop with several programs now running, including Winona LaDuke, Land, Life, and Culture, the Keweenaw Bay Indian Community Resist RTZ's Yellow Dog Mine, visiting the Cherokee in North Carolina, the Machoop Tribe of California, On Native Ground, Good Hair 1 and 2, Craig Luzon, a native comedian at the Winnipeg Comedy Festival, Becky Taylor helps organize Women of Influence powwow, Teresa Barber honors women's health, Gretchen Morris dances for health and joy, the Klamath River, River of Renewal, and the Robbie Romero, past to present. Also, if you take a look in the LCO Great Lakes digital player, there's a new piece there on the Gordon, Wisconsin Cemetery Headstone Tour and a short Namuji Cemetery Tour, which will be in its expanded featured version coming up on May 5th in the featured channel. That Namuji Cemetery Tour shows the exposed bones and some of the garbage that's dumped on that particular site in Superior, Wisconsin. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping with this program and for you for joining with us. Miigwech.